Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Wallenstein back with Rome 2 Total War. We are back yet again, and actually I'll be doing maybe a little more talking, a little more history this time, because the past several of the videos I've done very little history talking, even though I've promised to do that as part of my channel. So I'll do a little bit more talking, and I know as this video is being recorded, obviously, as I've said before, Creative Assembly has announced Attila Total War, and they've been doing a daily update via Twitter, Facebook, all its social media sites, and its main website of the different factions that are going to be in the game. Today's was, as this is being recorded, I should say, was Saxony, or the Saxons. And so I might comment a little bit on Attila, what I would like to see in the game, maybe some of the other potential factions who I think will be in it, who I would like to see in it, etc., etc. And I'll do a little bit more, at least try and talk a little bit more about history, the history, because I know I have not been doing that. So anyway, we left off launching a massive counterattack against the Roxolani. As we were occupied with the Seleucid menace down here, who was actually pretty friendly with us now, actually. They seem to have forgiven our past transgressions. Plus we have some other bonuses, I think, that help as well. Yeah, well, they really have. Anyway, I'm kind of thinking to myself here. As we were occupied with Seleucids, the Roxolani took that opportunity while we were distracted to attack us. They took the Saracena region, and did they take both the Bas? They took Tanay, no. I think they were pressing on, actually they were moving up into my capital city, but we got there in time, and actually some of our Macedonian allies actually came and helped us. They took out one of its armies. And we, I believe as you can see, we have the Rhodian armies are now assisting us, or hopefully will assist us. We still have a Roxolani tribe up here that looks like Sparta. Sparta actually sent a little contingent of guys up here to help. It's duly noted. It's more than the Athenians are doing right now, but that's me. I say that, and there's the Athenian army right there. Sorry, Athenians. Yes, and there's another one. Sorry, Athenians. Didn't mean to blast you there. The Macedonian army looks like they've fallen back a bit. Is there another army here? The Budini and the Getae, although the Getae actually asked us to be their satrap. I declined. Probably could take their town, actually, now. Although, I'm debating whether I want to or not. I want to take another town there. Anyway, looks like Knossos is sending an army up, although, if I recall, we are no longer allied with them, because I believe the Armenians attacked them and we were their only allies, and what I didn't want was the Armenians to just come stomping into Asia Minor and Anatolia and taking basically our heartland. So that is, and we launched our counterattack against the Roxolani. We took back our two captured cities. We claimed Samandar. We went up and sent an army up and claimed their capital of Gialonis, if that's how you pronounce it. And we're still in the middle of our counterattack. We have, as you can see, two of our armies. We have one engaged with their children of Larch, our Pasiphae's favorites. Hyperion troops is what I should call them. We might be able to do pretty well against them. Of course, I can't really move in. There's another army kind of gracing the steppes here. Not sure where quite they'll go. They might make a move for Tanay again, or Saracena. And we do have another one of our armies down trying to quickly, hopefully quickly take Kabbalah and move back up to assist our other armies. And we're going to actually I'm going to see if I can maybe, if I send the Ravaging Chimeras out to Sarai, it might distract his armies and have them pull back. I'm hoping I can take that walled city before they fall back. So that's where we are. And I think we'll get started again. So yes, Attila has been announced, as I've said. They've been announcing factions since last week. Started with the Eastern Roman Empire, and they've gone to the Saxons now. So I believe, if I am correct, it's the Eastern Romans they've announced, the Vandals, the Visigoths, the Saxons, the Sassanids, there's one more barbarian tribe they've announced, I think, and I can't remember. The Alans, that was it. The Alans were yesterday, or Alans, I don't know how they're exactly pronounced. All of those, with the exception of the Alans, I believe, were already in the original expansion for the first Rome, so I'm not surprised. And the Alans were like I said, the only new faction. I think they, from my recollection of history, were another nomadic tribe that kind of got pushed and pushed and pushed from the Hunnic advancement across the steppes. If I recall, they tended to settle somewhere along the western shores of the Black Sea, if I recall, and it's kind of north of the Bosporus Straits. So they're a new playable faction. I think we can't move anything, so I'll end my turn. Now the obvious ones are going to be the Huns, hence the name Attila, and obviously the Western Roman Empire is going to be another one. I think they've mentioned that it's going to be their first legendary start, where it'd actually probably be a lot harder than it was in the first expansion, Barbarian Invasion. I know I have the first Rome. I played the first one. I played Barbarian Expansion, and I know they were one of the harder ones. East was actually not too bad. Let me take a drink here. Sorry. They'll be obvious. They did announce the Vandals. The Franks, I'm sure, are going to be an obvious one again. What I'm actually interested in is how they will take into effect some of the factions that make an appearance later in that time period, like the Slavs did in Barbarian Invasion, as well as certain factions like the Romano-British, which pop up if, I think, one of your cities in, at least in Barbarian Invasion, one of the cities in England, one of your Roman cities revolted. I think. I'm not 100% sure of that. Let's poison wells. Let's speed things up a bit. Sabotage failed, of course. What we got here? Okay, so we're good there. Can I... see, I'm hoping I can help my Rhodian allies there. Crap. Come on, Spartan. Move! I appreciate you sending your diplomat there, but come on. Alright, let me just scout ahead here. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how they implement that in Attila, if they implement it at all, and oh my god. time to send these guys out. I thought that was a different army for a second. So we will send these guys out. Do I have another army? I thought I had one more army. Egyptians are there. So yeah, I keep getting distracted here. It will be interesting to see how they play out, if they do that at all. Let's see, some of the other factions I think that I think will definitely be in there. The Franks, I said, will definitely be in there. Probably the Alemanni. Pretty much basically every single faction that was available and playable in campaign in Barbarian Invasion will be in it. I even think to an extent every faction that was playable in just regular battles will be available to play in campaign as well, I think. So we shall see, though. Whether they'll be available once the game, when the game first ships, that's different, and that'll be a different question in its entirety. Because as we saw with Rome, there were some surprises that were left out, like Pontus, but they were free the day of. The Seleucids were another one. The Scythians were another, I think, that were maybe not a surprise for me, maybe. I was expecting them to be in it, because I was expecting some diversity in the starting factions. You'll definitely see the Picts, I think, in Attila as a playable faction to kind of counter, give you a different option other than the Saxons to play as. I also think that, and actually on that note of factions like the Slavs and Romano British that kind of crop up in the middle of a campaign, it would be interesting to know what time period the game will take place, what time period it will span, I should say. Because I believe it's towards the end of when the Huns come and invade and all of this, that actually down in kind of the middle of the desert in Saudi Arabia, a bunch of groups of tribes known today as the Arabs kind of sprouted up thanks to one of their prophets, and actually wound up, as history will tell us, conquering most of the Middle East, all of North Africa, pushing into Iberia. I almost drew a blank what it was called for a second. Pushing down into Africa, and actually pushing out across into India. So it'll be interesting. I don't think they will. I don't think the time period, I think it's, if my dates are correct, I want to say it's the late 600s, the early 700s is when the Arab Rising actually occurs. So I think it's a little too early, because I think we're talking Attila taking place, again, my dates are usually kind of off. I want to say 300 to 400, 500 maybe, might be pushing it. This is the span of the Dark Ages, at least the early Dark Ages, and the fall of Rome. So it'll be interesting. Again, I don't think they'll have the Arabs as a faction, but fingers crossed, maybe they'll surprise me. I am doing a little more talking. There's really nothing much we can do, though. I mean, we have these guys targeted, so hopefully the rest of our allies will focus on them. What I'm concerned about now is what this army's going to do. It could actually screw up, as long as I have my Pontus guys chasing them. Let's end our turn, I think. Again, the Roxolani army there might just be pulling back because he notices his walled city's under attack. I'm hoping that's the case. Let's see some other factions while we're waiting. The Berbers, I think, might be a playable faction. They were kind of North African tribes. Christian, I believe, too. Despite... yes, see, they actually did attack. Do I want to fight this? Yeah, you know what? Actually gave me a better chance than I thought. What will do for auto-resolve? Wow, I actually will maintain a good number of my force. So you know what? Let's go for it. I can at least maybe whittle them down. Especially if I can whittle down... If I can whittle down some of their archer units. I would prefer that. Berbers, I think, will be one that wasn't in the campaign. I think they'll be playable. Let's see. There might be. I think there'll be a few more Germanic tribes. It'll be interesting. I mean, obviously, based on what they did with this game, having every single territory occupied by a different faction, and actually maintain some of its historical accuracy as to the different tribes in the areas like of Germania and Gaul. I think you'll see the same thing. I think you'll see, in addition to the Saxons, the Angles and the Jutes, which were two other tribes that migrated to the British Isles during that same time period. Again, I think you'll see the Picts not only as a faction, but as a playable faction to boot. I know in Barbarian Invasion they had a faction, the Celts, which is kind of a broadly describing the groups of people that made up places like present-day Wales, Ireland, and Scotland. Let's bring these guys down here. I think you'll see some kind of faction like that, specifically in like Ireland. But I don't think they'll be playable. That's just me though. There isn't anything that's really that outstanding about them, other than they were thorn in Rome's side when they occupied the British Isles. What do I want to do here? Where is the capital? Right here. That's what I might do. I'm just going to funnel them. This is my first time playing in snow, I think, too. I just realized that. Looking around, I'm not used to seeing a Greek-themed city covered in snow. This might not last long at all. Alright, so they can't go there, even though that's destroyed. So, I think it'll be interesting. It's interesting that they're releasing a faction every day, as opposed to what they did with Rome, too. That they released it, I want to say... I don't even think it was once a week. It might have been every other week they released a new faction. But that tells me that it's either the game's coming out early 2015, like March or February, and they want to get as much information out now as possible, or that there will be many more starting factions in the vanilla game when it ships in campaign than in Rome 2. Either that, or they just want to get it done and out of the way and move on to the other features. Particularly, probably because of the disappointment that this game was, Rome 2 was, when it first shipped. It was a little disappointing for me. I've mentioned it before. I'm not going to repeat it again, because I think I already repeated it before. But I definitely think it could be it could be all different reasons I just mentioned. That they want to get it out quickly. Hey, shut up, you. Yes, good, shut up. I'm talking here. It could be all the reasons, I think, to be honest. Alright, dudes. Let's haul ass. Blood them horns and run like the Dickens. I'm gonna take out as many of these chumps as possible. Armored horse archers. Shit. I didn't realize they were armored. Alright, you two. Actually, one of you. Right there. Another one. right there. Actually, we're gonna form phalanx right there for the rest of these blokes.
Our general is under attack.
Yes, yes, yes. Phalanx is down, good. Alright, charge right in it. I'm not going to flank them there. I'm kind of laughing how I'm talking and kind of ignoring the rest of the battle. Because I know I'm going to lose. Or at least I think I'm going to lose. Actually, what I might do, you guys actually might go right there. And you guys will go right there. Form square. You do the same. Same thing. They fall right into the trap. I don't know why. The AI is usually a little smarter than that. Yeah, that's right. Ignore those guys. Oh, here come the other guys. I was gonna say, I'm surprised they're not flanking me. Should we take down any guys there? No. There are more lancers. They're actually not doing too bad. Balance of power is actually still in their favor, but much better than I would have anticipated. We're losing a lot of spearmen already.
Our men flee the field of
Oh,
battle.
you pansies. That's why I hate using spearmen. I definitely want to start getting rid of my eastern spearmen in some of my main armies. Alright, so great. These guys are going to have to plug the gap then. What are these guys? They're not even taking that much damage. Stupid. Look at how they're all just filed in there. Alright, so we lost. We did lose our. Javelin men. They got massacred pretty bad. There's some loose, crazy javelin men fleeing right there. Actually, no, we didn't do too bad. I'm surprised. We took out a lot of their archers. We took a lot of their actually melee cavalry, which wasn't what I wanted, but it actually maybe it'll be better in the long run. To be honest, I think missile cavalry a lot more annoying to deal with than melee cavalry. Just because I can actually prepare for melee cavalry a little better.
Our men flee the field of
But
battle.
yeah, I figure we're gonna lose. We didn't do too bad. Like I said, we took out at least close defeat. They only had 1,000 guys? Yeah, see, we took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6. 6 of their units. So they'll take turn A again. Or I'll just swoop in and clean up with my Hyperion soldiers. Actually, no, my Hyperion soldier, the Sentinels of Hyperion are back in Thracia, actually, if I remember. So, what I expected. We'll take care of these guys, and hopefully I can get to recover my town before anyone else does. That's the last thing I want, is to lose this province to an ally, even though it is an ally, and I still get credit for maintaining control of it. They will take it, okay. Crap, I don't think I'm going to have enough. Damn. Oh wow, I'm surprised we have. Alright, so took care of them. Where do they put their other army? Let's find out. Yes. Rampant piracy. This is different. Pirates are a serious problem requiring our immediate attention. How would you like to deal with these sea vermin? Recruited. Let's do recruit. Always like some friendly faces. Can I reach that in time? Of course not. Now my concern is they're going to be moved for Phanagoria, and it's going to royally screw me up. Ooh, those sneaky bastards. They're going by the sea. Well, let's take their new capital. I'll kick them back even more. We might lose the province. Not the province. We might lose one of these places. Definitely not going to. Let's delete that. Delete that for now. Change that to an amphitheater. Change that to Zeus. Change that to a gymnasium. We will very quickly take this place.
We fight for you, my lord.
At least my AI knows how to handle units, forcing my mercenaries to do the heavy lifting. Ooh, what's this? Shaft mine. Repair. See, I don't think if I would. Let's just. Yeah, let's just dismantle it because I'm not sure. If that's just gonna, I'm gonna waste gold if it's gonna change it to something else. So we'll pull back. Actually, we're pretty good there. My concern is what's gonna happen here with Tenay as their new capital. So Akhtal didn't get changed to their capital. You know, maybe Gabla did, and mumbling again. I'm rambling on. So yeah. I was talking a bit about Attila. So I think it's going to be a myriad of reasons why they're releasing it so quickly now. I think because there's going to be, I definitely think there's going to be a lot more starting factions in the campaign come shipment than there were in Rome 2. Just because there was so many in Barbarian Invasion. And actually, on a separate note, I actually preferred Barbarian Invasion to the vanilla Rome 1 to begin with. Because I like the idea of having, when your last city got sacked, at least for the barbarian and Germanic factions, you would get horde units, basically stacks. I've seen people call these something before. I want to say nightmare stacks, death stacks. I think it was death stacks. Death stacks of units, and depending on what your faction was, the more you would get. So I think the easier factions, like the Huns and the Vandals, you would get like 5 or 6 stacks of units, whereas, say, the Goths, you would get 4. And I think 4 was the minimum that any one of those factions could have. I don't know. I say that was only the Germanic and Barbaric. I've never really played. I played a little bit as the Sassanids. I played as the Eastern Romans. I've never really had it get to a point, even playthroughs where I didn't play as them, as those factions having death stacks. That might be a possibility. I doubt it, just because it doesn't seem to fit the play style of those factions, as well as the history behind those factions. And based on what they're showing with starting areas for like the Visigoths and the Vandals, it's looking like it's going to be the same thing. as well as the Saxons. It looks like it's going to be the same thing as they did in Barbarian Invasion, having stacks of armies to start with for those factions rather than having a starting city or province, which is fine. Again, that changes the dynamics of the game for certain factions. It makes it a little more interesting to play as. I know certain playthroughs as the Huns and Vandals, I actually did something a little historically inaccurate and actually took my Hunnic and or Vandal armies and actually went down through the Caucasians. I killed a lot of Caucasians, but I took it through the Caucasus and actually went and attacked the Sassanid Empire. Actually, as one playthrough as the Huns, I actually went and captured all of Asia Minor as my first move. Because the game as it was didn't allow easily travelings, I think between... It didn't allow land armies to travel on water unless they had navies to ferry them across. So it was kind of funny. I took all of Asia Minor while the Eastern Roman Empire's capital at Constantinople was kind of just sitting there like we were thumbing our noses at them across the channel, which I thought was kind of funny. Not literally, of course, but figuratively. So we're good to go. The Legacy of Hattusis. This is one of my newer armies, I think. So yes, we actually lost a lot of gold there. Then again, we did take a new city. So, anyway. Soloka. Did I Oh, I didn't expand it yet. Okay. For a second I thought I had already developed that land, I should say. Okay, I think Summon Deer. I think we'll leave it there for now. I don't want to. We might go for Salmon Deer, or is that Salmon Deer's over here? No. What is Salmon Deer? Is that the one over here? Yes. Samandar. Sorry, not Salmon Deer. It's not like the white-tailed folk around my white-tailed four-legged animals in my neighborhood and area. So let's enter. Huh? Oh, that's right, because I do control another province. Where? Oh, Pontus Campaign, that's right. Oh boy. Nah. I'm gonna save it. Well. Let's see. Let's do tax rate real quick. Unsigned skill, blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Where are they? It's gotta be this guy. Oh, it isn't. By sea or by mountain, sire. These guys did though, even though they weren't fully in the battle. Plus 1 authority, plus 1 authority. Let's do that and that. I'm guessing the other one's going to be this guy. Yep. The general. I think we will send our spy down to check out their last, their last remaining holding. So it looks like they only have 2 armies left now. Their third one got pounded into a submission. Now we can end our turn. See what these blokes are gonna do. Macedon's doing some usings there. The Averni, I forgot about the Averni. They're actually fairly powerful, I think. They have most of the Italian peninsula under their possession. At least the last I checked. Alright, so Roxolani, you're staying put there. The question is, where's their other army headed? Declare war against someone else, maybe? Or maybe falling back to their... blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. 12 against 20. I think I know how this is going to happen. This is going to end. Alright, so what I'm going to do is have them target... That's one more. That's that cheesy unit. I'm going to have them target that army. Do my heavy lifting for me. There's the last of the Roxolani.
You have the ear of my people. Do
Yes,
not
yes,
waste
can.
words.
No.
We are worthy of better.
Nah. You don't want to be my satrap? I'm taking you all out. I want to hold on to... Oy, very close. Turn that into a consecrated ground. Turn... Maybe that into a workshop? Yeah, I think so. Because once we if we go to war against any of the eastern factions, we'll start building some siege weapons to help us retake some of their, cities. By sea or by mountain, sire. So what do I want to do here? I want to... Military subversion. I think that's what we want to do. We want to show a force. Subversion failed, of course, but you increased in rank, that's okay. Unity, partisan, champion, valor. What do you want to do here? Why am I talking this tongue? I don't know. I think we'll do unity. I tend to like doing the cards that for my agents that allow me to disrupt and cause enemy cities or opponent cities to revolt. A Thracian slave girl has been captured by a political opponent. What accent was that? That was like a mix between Persian and Eastern and British. Oh God. A Thracian slave girl has been captured by a political opponent. I did it again. I did it again. I started off Eastern, but I changed into... By the end of it, I was a Brit. I was a limey. A trusted member of our household for many years. She knows everything about our family. These people will use her knowledge to ruin us. It's almost like a heavy woman from Monty Python. Wetting my whistle there. It's like I can't remember that skit now. I know the scene. I can picture which member of Monty Python it was, but I can't remember the whole skit. I can't remember. It's gonna kill me. Kill her. Buy her back. Maybe see what that does. Secure promotion. How many more of these blokes can I secure? Ooh, wow. Can't. I keep forgetting to do that in some of my games. Promote or secure promotion. So that'll hopefully maybe allow me to get a respected Civil War. Now I wonder... I know Civil War they've added since the Imperator Augustus. I don't know... Influence. I'm not sure if Civil War affects every single faction, playable faction, or if it's only like the Republic type, like Rome, the Greco-Roman ones, Carthage, and some of the Eastern ones. I've never played that long into a game where that's been the case, and I don't think I have to worry about it here with Pontus, because as you see, it's kind of evenly split, 49 and 51. I actually haven't experienced that yet. It'd be interesting to experience that, actually. That's one part of the game I haven't... Oh, here comes my Spartan boys. The Titans. Actually, it's actually one faction. I think they might be the only faction I haven't tried yet. partially because of my preference against them. Mostly because I think everyone tends to latch onto the Spartans in like a lot of playthroughs and videos and stuff, just because of the popularity of movies like 300 that kind of glorified the whole Spartan warfare style. I understand it to a point, but at this point in history, the Spartans were kind of mediocre or worse. They were basically almost under the heel of the Romans for a point in time, around this time of the game, and really didn't have much of an impact during this time period. They like Athens were waning, as well as Epirus were waning in power, as were all the Greek states, technically, historically. Anyway, we can cancel that edict. Did they change anything there? Today looks like they knocked down one of our buildings again. Those twats. Gathering place? Sure. Why not? Why not? I'll do that later. Right now my focus is taking out the Roxolani. We've done that there. No, this is what we have to do. Do something there. And do a mine. And we can increase that. I definitely think they almost seem like it almost seems to be a bug. How the Poseidon temples have basically no, at least by the third tier, have no negative consequences whatsoever. It doesn't look like I can get a fourth one either. At least now. I think I can get a fourth. I don't know. We'll find out. So we're good, I think. Ooh, it's tempting. That's tempting. Should I go for Malva? Who are they at war with? Are they liked by anyone? Nope, they're not allied with anyone. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll secure the... Looks like they're pretty much occupied right now. Although... our Bastarnae allies looks like they might be losing one or both of their southernmost cities. So maybe what I'll do, I'll tell you, here's what I'll do. I'll move my boys, the Hyperion soldiers, I'll move them to the shore. End my turn, see what happens. Oh, I saw another... Oh, is that Sinop? No. I thought... Ankara. Wow, I can't believe that's only still a tier 3 city. We'll fix that. Oh yes, and as this video is being recorded, this is actually the day before, if I remember correctly. Subterranean Aqueduct. Creative Assembly will release the next faction pack and free faction for Rome 2. I said this in the last video. It consists of the Cimmerians, the Colchis, the Pergamon. Uh-oh, my cursor kind of got freaked out here. That's one bug I have noticed, is the cursor glitching out like that. But I've noticed that that's pretty common, I think, in most games, at least most games that I've ever played. That seems to be a fairly common one, which isn't much of a nuisance. It's just a little noticeable. As I was saying, the Cimmerians, Colchis, Pergamon, and the freebie is Massilia, which will be nice. I've always actually wanted to do a playthrough of either the Massilians or the Cimmerians. So maybe that'll be one of my next video playthroughs. I think we're doing pretty good. I think we'll wrap it up there. And, ooh, I didn't talk about history at all. That's okay. I did actually a little more talking about Attila, my thoughts will, and here's the glitch again, we'll do a little bit more talking about Attila in the next episode. I think some of my thoughts on what I think I would like to see in there. I'll do a little bit more quick digging on some factions in the area, some factions I would like to see. And other than that, I think we're doing good here. We're making some progress. We'll very soon not only take out the Roxolani, but be in control of yet another province, the Scythian province. And that will allow us, that will give us several windows into where we want to move next in our conquests. Now, I remember part of our tasks is to get Girosia as an economic province. I'm not quite sure why, but I'm not the one that made up the winning conditions. We'll wait and see what the Gedi do. We'll see how they handle the Bastarnay cities, whether they can take them or not. And then if they don't, I'll move in for the kill. I'll take their last city. And then, that, like I said, if once we get Scythian, take the Roxolani threat, take care of the Roxolani threat, we have several options. Then we can move into Armenia. Obviously, our good relations with them did not last very long. It did not take very kindly against those trespasses. That was, I think, our major blow with them. So we can go against the Armenians, which might be an inevitable, I think, at some point, because they seem to be going to war against some of our Greek allies, which will bring us into conflict with Parthia, as well as Media Atropatene and Parthava, which is fine. The Dahe actually look like they're pretty. Looks like they took out Bactria and Arachosia, or at least their old dumping grounds. So we can muse on that later. As of now, I think we'll leave it where we're at. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you all next time.